End credit scenes. In recent years, one of the most trendy and hip things to put in your movies. An excuse for companies to shove Easter eggs down the audience's throat. It's essentially the studio saying,
"Yeah, thanks for sitting through that. Here's your treat."
You animals. They can be good, they can be bad, and they can just be weird. Let's have a look. As we all know, credits are what most often play at the end of various forms of media. They list the names and titles of the people who worked on the film or show or game or radio, drama, I don't know, you do you. It's the company saying,
"Hey, look at this guy, he worked hard. I'm sure he matters."
Yeah, that guy right there, he would be missed. In all seriousness, credits are a good way for people that worked hard on a project to be represented as one of thousands of tiny insignificant words. But today we're going to worry about the parts of specifically films that play during, after, or between the credits. Now, one of the first uses of the technique that I could find was in 1968's The Night of the Living Dead. Was it exciting? Just a short video of a fire. Kinda boring. But what this did was open the world up to the greatness of making that tough decision on whether you can run to the bathroom and back in time before you miss it. Many bladders have been lost in this fight. Please, join me in a moment of silence for those who didn't make it. Okay, moment's over. So the next big move forward came in, of all things, the Muppet movie. Released in 1979, the end credits used a framing device where the Muppets themselves were shown as audience members leaving their seats as the credits rolled. Finally, the audience is told to go home. Okay, so what this also did, as well as starting the trend of having the end credit scenes not be boring, was introduce the fourth wall break to the technique. A lot of movies use the two at the same time. They go quite well together. Now, the 80s is where things really started to heat up. Movies like Airplane and Masters of the Universe joined in, but eventually we got the Holy Grail. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This scene has been parodied a few times due to the iconography. You probably saw one in Deadpool.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Now that's how movies went for a while. They were used pretty sparingly from time to time and weren't really important. They were more a word of mouth fun detail that you either knew about or you didn't. Now along the way, something else that got paired with the end credits scene was the blooper reel, where the film would show funny outtakes or slip-ups made during the production of the movie. One of my favourite uses of this is the fake one they did for Toy Story 2.
Should that just be part of the movie now? He lost his string.
One lonely day, man thought to himself,
"Hey, let's all use the internet and have phones."
Okay. The year was 2008 and something started that would change cinema forever. A small sequence of low-budget indie films called the MCU. I'm sorry nerds, but it's no secret anymore. The MCU over the years has gained insane popularity. The movies hold all sorts of records, like the highest grossing movie of all time. And yes, they all utilise the end credit scene. Now these phone and internet things that everyone seems to be using recently are quite good at giving information from one person to another. This means that every single person on the planet, yes, even him, knows about them. To this day, people still like to pretend that the Marvel end credit scenes are their own personal inside thing that no one else knows about. Do me a favour, the next Marvel movie you see, when it comes to that special moment where everyone stays in their seats despite the movie being over, take a look around for that one person that leaves the cinema. There is always one. Something is about to take place. Something I've nicknamed the Walk of Shame. At the moment the person stands up, everyone's eyes bolt to the poor man walking down the long staircase, and everyone is thinking the same thing.
Shame. 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 Shame.
MCU has revolutionized the end credit scene. For example, the films often use more than one. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has 5. 5! If we have a little look at modern cinema, end credit scenes are no longer fun bonuses passed from person to person like a happy disease. They are now used as a way to deliver major plot points to the audience. Seriously, if you don't watch the end credit scene to Ant-Man and the Wasp, Endgame just straight up doesn't make sense. Films now use end credit scenes as a way to set up the dominoes for the next film.
Hey, do you remember when England got everyone in China addicted to opioids?
Yeah, this is pretty much that. Disney giving audiences a little taste for free, but knowing they'll be back for more. If you happen to be a young franchise trying to make it in this world, you better come with a kick-ass end credit scene. Amazing Spider-Man, The Mummy, the DCEU have all just straight up copied them. Like, they don't even try to hide it. In recent years, TV shows have also had fun with the technique. Shows like Rick and Morty that don't have to convince you to watch the next episode, they go back to having the end credit scenes as more bonus type things. But to this day, the most baffling end credit scene I've ever seen comes in 2018's Venom. The movie, based off the popular Spider-Man villain, as far as I'm aware, isn't supposed to connect in any way to any other franchise. Nonetheless, we get 2 end credit scenes. One is pretty standard, setting up a mediocre sequel, but the second was promoting the movie Into the Spider-Verse. They have nothing to do with each other. I don't think I've ever had worse tonal whiplash. Right, Venom was a dark, gritty superhero horror comedy? Actually, that movie was pretty tonally inconsistent, but still had no business promoting a light-hearted, non-related, animated movie. And yeah, this probably sold a lot of tickets, but in all honesty, it kind of ruined my viewing experience. It was just weird. Okay, so that leads us up to now. The effect that these post-credit scenes have on modern audiences is astronomical. I wish I'd recorded this, because during my first viewing of Avengers Infinity War, after the audience members had sat through the initial credits, then the first end credits scene, and then the second credits, the uproar of the people sitting around me when they found out that there wasn't a second end credit scene was insane. To be clear, I love end credit scenes. They're fun and they can be creative and imaginative, but this dependency that modern audiences now have, that pressures companies into feeling the need to have their audience wait for 10 minutes only to disappoint them, or shamingly beg for a sequel, leaves viewers with a sour taste in their mouths. So if any executives watching this, please have fun with it, because when you do, so does the audience.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.